if you want a little bit of a hope core, if you want a little bit of hope that the future is in good hands, surround yourself by little kids, okay? Okay, sometimes you gotta say, like, it depends on the parent, on how they're raised. But I just went camping with a bunch of little kids, and first off, they have no filter. When they call out, when they see like bullshit, they call it out. And it seems like there's hope, because the way this little girl, she was describing, like I heard from one of the other volunteers, she was describing how, you know, how trees fall, the dead trees falls, and the new tree hold on to the dead tree, kind of like leans on it. She draw a conclusion of like how sometimes when a friend is feeling down, they kind of lean on another friend, like the tree does. And I'm like, oh, that's such a wonderful way to put it. These kids have like a wonderful way of words and a lot of creativity that is like unmatched. And I feel as though, like, in adulthood, when we get to a point and we start to think about practical uses in the world and how we fit in the world and how we're kind of dimmed a bit to suit what is deemed socially acceptable and what is deemed achievable, what's like the status quo, we start to lose that creativity. We start to lose that ability to just go for it without having to overthink and think of like, oh, the outcomes of what's pros or cons, or what the percentage of achievability. We just go for it, and we place our faith in ourselves and our abilities. Like, there's a little girl, we were playing Clue and we were hiding, and I was saying like, oh, you're not gonna catch me, you know what? And the girl was like, oh, you know, I'm gonna win. I won last year. I'm gonna win. Just you wait. And I said, oh, let's hope so. It's not hope. And she's like, it's not hope. I'm going to win. I'm like, I love that. Like, we need that confidence. And it's really great to see like these little girls like reach a point where they're confident in their abilities, they're confident with themselves, and they have such support from us and from their parents to back them up and face these tasks, these problem solving skills like scavenger hunts, like building a fire out in the cold, because it builds resilience, it builds grit. And from an early age, like, I feel like they're set up for success. Not like whatever success means to them, honestly. Like, if they want to start their career, one of the girls was like, I'm not going to be in scouts next year because I want to focus on my career. Like, go for it, girl, go for it. But at the same time, there is a fine line between like stressing about like the future and creativity, because there still needs to be a better direction. But if you have a plan, if you have faith in that idea, that life of yours, and almost being delusional, I think I've heard a speech by, or an interview by Luffy, that singer, saying like her mom really encouraged her to be a pop star, be a singer from an early age, and she said like, be delusional, try it, just try it. And you know, I think that's why, like, what draw me to like work with these little kids and like be surrounded with them, because I feel like I needed that when I was a kid, like a little cheerleader saying like, oh, just be delusional, just go for what you dream and not the practical means, which the practical is good, but I feel like you kind of lose yourself, you kind of lose who you are, your identity a bit, when you mold yourself to a box. You put yourself in a box that, like, the status quo, the society needs from you. And, you know, it really is a choice and a privilege to be able to follow one's dream, like Lofi. I think I'm saying her name right. And not much people have it. I understand that. I really do. But you can see just how jaded people are. Like, I was just I was mentioning to this person, like, because I was telling them, oh yeah, you do look young a bit because the light is still in your eyes. There's like, you know, like the saying, the eyes Chico, they never lie. It's true, because when you look someone in the eye and when you see the youthfulness, like the hope, this little sparkle in their eyes, you know what I mean? Like that there's still hope, that they're not as jaded, that they still believe in some greater thing for themselves or for the world. You can see it. And it's not all about age. You don't really, I would say, okay, it's not always about age. Some older individuals, some senior citizens really have younger eyes. And you see it. You see the youthfulness in their eyes. Even when this avatar of ours is like decaying and shriveling like a shrimp. Even when like we're regressing into almost like a baby again. Like, oof. Our mind is what's most important. Our soul is important. As long as we don't sell our souls like all these people in Hollywood, we're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine. I like to view life as just, whenever I feel down, whenever I feel stressed, whenever I feel like overwhelmed or feel scared to do something, like, oh no, what if this person thinks about this? I always go back to, this is a game, okay? This is a game. This is our avatars. And we're meant here. We were put in this earth to have a human experience. You can't argue to me, like, you can't tell me that we went here, we've conquered this world to make it a better place, because I honestly don't believe, in the grander scheme of things, if we're talking about like the animals and plants, we've done more harm than good, to be honest. But if we're talking about like the good of society, the good of like helping other humans, perhaps you can argue that. But I wouldn't say we were put in this world to be a positive good for the other living things, because we think for ourselves most of the time. And it's honestly such a surprise. It's such anomaly that there is actually good in the world, because I believe like the world is inherently a little evil, a little bad, and is infected by the goodness, by the good that people show. You think that it is more reasonable to think that the world is inevitably bad, because people are self-motivated, people have their own motivations and think of themselves, and have these deadly sins that humans are privy to, because we have a conscience and we can think, and we can think more than an animal. But what am I trying to get at? I had a point here. What I'm saying is that we are placed on this earth to have a human experience, to experience what it's like to be a human, and have these experiences, and helping people, and learning, and experiencing this world in these 5 senses that we're given. Which, again, we're not really experiencing the lot of it, because our senses are limited. Like, we're limited to these 5 senses. Like, come on, could have had more. could have seen more color. Honestly, I feel like, when you were younger, and it feels as though that the world was so much brighter, so much vibrant. I feel like we've lost the plot a little bit when we're older, because or even like as a regular human, because we've only experienced the world through the 3D and like the 5 senses that we're given, so it's not really that much. So my hope is that When I think about the end, like the game, like the end, like the final boss, the end of it all, like death is just like another state of being. I don't think death is just a new adventure, a new yeah, a new adventure, a new state of being. And whether you believe in God, that you'll be with God again in heaven, or whether you believe in multiple realities, multiple parallel universes, or reincarnations, death isn't the scary part. It's what you leave behind, and it's the pain that comes before death. That's the scary part, the pain, which inevitably we're all gonna feel. Like it's futile to try to avoid pain, because pain is gonna come, whether it be physical or not. And we honestly, if humans had an option to feel comfort or happiness, most people will pick comfort over happiness. And you might say like, oh, people sometimes associate comfort and happiness together, but no, not really the case. Sometimes people stay in toxic situations if you view as comfort being provided for, having like a home and stuff. That's comfort. But people would choose comfort over happiness any day. Most people. I'm not trying to generalize. Most people. So I don't even know what my point is. I think I'm just rambling here today because I had so many things going on, and so many thoughts that I feel like I need to share the world. Like, yeah, it's a weird time. Honestly, it doesn't feel real. You know the time when like, oh, we went from horses to machinery. I feel like this is the shift. This is the other shift that's happening. That we're going. This is like archaic. This is like prehistoric. That this is what we're doing now, and our laptops and our screens and the way we interact with the world is going to be so outdated. And this is like the shift before this new paradigm, new paradigm. Yeah. Anyways, I think that's it for me today because I rambled a lot, but you have a good day, whatever you're going through. Just remember, this too shall pass. Nothing's forever. So, bye.